You get
Yeah.
note light open.
If you want, whatever you're using. I was just gonna like go through how I do things and talk about what decisions I make. So I guess the first thing, I think this is what I was planning on using as a song. Well, we'll do like a verse and a chorus here.
Oh, you can't change the volume on. You have to. That's not the right remote. Nope.
So many remotes. So what I'm usually looking for when I pick songs to arrange is like if I can kind of for each part I hear in the song, I can envision someone doing that as a vocal part. Um, and then there's I guess a couple like little catches there that I also listen for. Like if the song has a lot of harmonies on top of instrumentation, that can get really difficult. But if there are harmonies, they're often like nice starting points. So songs that have like some harmonies or sparse instrumentation work well. We'll have that in the chorus here. Like there's a lot of harmony going on, but that's like the main thing going on. It's a little harder if there's a lot of harmony and a lot of instruments because then you need to like you need the harmonies for the song to feel right, but then you're running out of parts. And then I also personally try and stay away from songs that are mostly a cappella or a cappella to begin with. Like I usually just feel like, why am I arranging this then? If there's already like an a cappella version. Just my feeling. Anyway, so I wanted to kind of highlight why I felt like this works like in terms of parts. So you should be able to hear a bass part pretty easily going on once this comes in. Then there's a slightly higher one that would make a good tenor part. Anyway. And then there's a string part that could fit either into alto or soprano. So you've got parts there already. Jumping to chorus. Yeah, those can just be like ahs, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Anyway, so all of those kind of, to me at least, feel like they'll translate decently, so that's why we're going there. Okay, I'm going to start something here. Singers. There is a girl soloist for this. That's fine. It's in 4/4. Figure out what tempo this is at. Out from like playing piano notes if you don't know how to do that otherwise.
Oh, for the key?
Yeah. And then this is everywhere by Fleetwood Mac. Okay.
What is that?
That's Sibelius.
This is Sibelius. And then I'll make this a little bigger.
One of the variety of music writing softwares.
Yeah. So the one unfortunate thing about this is most people, like, I think Decadence has a copy of Sibelius you can get, which we just sort of pass around illegally. So the one unfortunate thing is I run on 6, and I think Decadence version is 7, so some things are in like a slightly different place. But oh well.
Did you buy this?
Mm-hmm. Back when, well, because I was a music composition major, like you kind of need it.
Right.
So I used it a lot a while back. So I'm not going to bother with this intro right now. I think. But if I did, I would probably do something with O's and just have half notes going. So I'm just gonna start where that groove comes in. Okay. So I almost always do chunks, and I know some people have different styles, but I almost always do like chunks of songs. So I'll do like an intro and then a verse and then a chorus and like finish that whole thing before moving on. For me, the reason I do that is like one, I can kind of get a sense of flow within the song, and two, like it makes sure there's not any weird jumps. So if you do like one part at a time for everything, and then you need to like switch a section up, then often there's sort of a weird jump that sometimes is happening with vocal parts. So it just makes sure like when I start a new section, I already have the whole old section done, and then I can, just make sure the transition's smooth. Okay, so a lot of this comes down to like tapping along with things. So counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that first rhythm, that's a dotted rhythm. So we're gonna start with, and if you can get used to keyboard shortcuts, I'd highly recommend it, because it just saves a lot of time. I'm not as used to it on this keyboard as a regular keyboard, but I think we've got, sounds like we've got a dotted rhythm and then 2/8 notes, and then we'll have that down there, and we can check how we're doing so far.
How did you know those notes? Oh, you just like knew?
Imagine.
Just
Well,
curious.
let's see. Well, the song's in E, and so, and that's kind of like your bass note is like do, and so that's how I knew the starting note. The next one goes up a step, and then basses just go to the 5 a lot, so you learn to hear that one really well. And then obviously like having a piano to just like play notes against is kind of the next thing you do, and I do that a lot. Where like if I don't know what it's doing, I'll just play a few notes.
You can make it play in Sibelius, right?
Yeah, let's see if we can get this to go. No, you're not going out there. Sibelius.
Playback?
That's a lot of check marks.
Sibelius isn't playing audio.
Oh, yeah, actually, this is a problem, like, you can't do that on this TV for some reason. Like, it's only Sibelius. I don't
What?
understand why.
That's weird.
Probably because it's MIDI and not like MP3 or something.
I
Maybe?
guess maybe the TV just doesn't know how to do it.
I know there's like a.
Hmm.
It's probably in play. Playback devices.
All bass rhythms are the same inside.
Wow, don't get too existential there.
It's true. Any pop song can do the bass part in like 2 minutes.
Hey, that's not bad. That's good, honestly.
I mean, sort of.
Okay, let's see if that does it.
It's nice for learning. It's not always the most interesting.
Success.
Oh,
Right.
nice.
Okay. This is the next thing I usually do in Sibelius, which might not apply if you're going to be using other things.
Make it
But-
cool.
So these I usually set to piano and then turn the reverb off because no one needs that in their life. So the piano just makes it easier to hear. Woo, that's reverb all the way on. And then
Set reverb to max. It's important.
yeah. And then there's also a click track in this thing that you can usually find in just about anything. And that's sometimes helpful too when you're building up songs. Like if you put something in and you're not totally sure if what you have is correct, because you don't have all the other parts in to like have a groove to check against, you can turn your click on. and that kind of lets you know if you're on track or not. So that can be a useful tool too. All right, so I'm going to start putting words in. And just have something like this. Next one I believe is the same thing with this one going 3 times. Yeah, so every other one has like the bass note going 3 times. So we're going to change that to that.
Wait, I totally missed what you typed in the words. Oh, it just does that. It doesn't like it doesn't play that, I'm assuming.
No.
If you change it to choral, it won't somehow magically read the
No.
words.
It's not fancy like that. Okay, and then I think that finishes the bass part for this whole like verse,
Yeah,
basically.
That's true. Can you just drag copy the whole thing?
Oh, we have another chord. Okay.
It
Yeah,
changes.
you're right. Wow.
Oh, I see. So we do have this again. This 4th chord is so that's going to be C sharps, and then B's, and then these are A's.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I think that finishes the bass part. I'm using dooms as like a kind of shorter, more percussive element. And since this is kind of, we've got like a shorter, picky guitar thing. And then I try and not have solely dooms because that's really tiring, so kind of breaking up a little with more open ones is helpful. And then these can be more connected, so then you can have like just a open-ended thing here. Okay, let's look at tenor part. So that to me sounds like it's doing like something like do, 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 do. So we're gonna put that in. So again, just tapping that out, do, 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 do. So the first one's a dotted quarter. And then we're gonna have, I believe, an 8th. See, or maybe do, 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 do. Yeah, and then, oops. We're supposed to be C sharp B, do, 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 and then going back to B. So let's see if that matches up. Let's see. Okay, cool.
I can't even hear that.
I can't
part.
hear that.
Yeah, but like we're not used to hearing for that. So.
Well, I'm mostly pulling off that one top note you can hear pop out.
Like the soprano line?
Wait, I don't hear
Don't think
it.
it's there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It,
okay.
it is
It's-
a little
it's
hard to
there,
pick out, but
yeah.
it's very slight.
Let me
Okay.
see. I wonder if we find a better
Oh.
quality version, if it's easier to hear.
I'm glad we put that out.
I'll just put blind faith.
Honestly though, like
Let's see if it's easier to hear in this.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Okay.
hear the end of that.
Yeah.
Barely, yeah.
It's quiet, but that's there.
Mm.
The one reason I use YouTube a lot is because you can do things like this.
Oh yeah, you can
Yeah.
speed it.
And like if you're having trouble hearing something, it sounds terrible, but hey, there's that note there.
Oh, yeah, I heard it. It's so
So if you're ever having trouble hearing a part, that's a really useful thing about
Uh,
YouTube. Cool. And then I don't know what syllables to do here. I'm just gonna make them do all dooms. I don't know. I guess I'll make this.
Not at all. Like that's.
Woo! That's above. We don't want that.
You hear everything else really easily.
Okay.
It doesn't want to come out. It's no time to fart. It's
Okay, we
fake.
have 5
Get
times.
rid of
We'll
it,
hear
Jamie.
it.
Jamie, delete it. It's not real. Delete this.
And then I don't know what it does in the last measure here, so I'll have to figure
I
that
don't
out.
know what it
Is
does in the
someone
first
taking
measure.
186?
Okay, we're gonna go past that.
See, that's 186?
No. I think that's from 162. That's what my roommates are in. That sounds like it basically just follows the bass line. But that's kind of boring. But we can put that in for now. And then we'll make this go up just so it harmonizes. And we'll see why in a moment. Okay, so we should. Let me get more of a chord there. Okay. I'm gonna take these out so that we've got some same pauses. So that yeah. Okay, then we need either alto or soprano doing this ooh part on top, which I think there's only one, so we may as well make them all doing it. Which I think are just half notes. 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and if we need more notes for a chord, we can put in a harmony to that. For all of these, you want to make sure that in general you're shooting to have all 3 notes for your chord present at every time. So this should do it for basically all of these. Anyway, so let's find some half notes. And then we'll give them a rest there.
The magic keyboard shortcuts.
And then probably oohs or ohs.
Yeah.
We'll go with ooh right now. Okay, and then I think that actually completes our chord. There we've got a whole E chord going. Yeah, good enough. We could use an F sharp, so maybe we'll move this up to soprano and drop this a third. Yeah, and that'll give us more chord. Because in this one here, we have a B, a D sharp, we had an A, D sharp. And so we're missing an F sharp from that chord. But and then does the ending do that same thing? Okay, that does the same thing, but we're probably going to have to adjust this harmony. So that's just gonna make that go to the same note there. Voila! Okay. Okay, I decided I didn't like the harmony. So we're gonna ditch that. Basically. I mean, that's a really useful thing about playback, is you can see, does this sound kind of kitschy or not? So. Okay, that's sounding better to me. Okay, and then I think there's a solo part here somewhere. Yeah. So, calling out your name. So often if you have a fast string, you have to subdivide into another one. Like, calling out your name. Calling out your name. Calling out your name. Calling out your name. Okay, so it sounds like we're starting There's probably another one of these. I don't remember exactly where it goes. Okay, that's going to be on the third one. So we're going to go here. I think it starts with an eighth note. And 2/16. Calling out your name. And then this is going to need to tie, because this keeps going, calling out your name. Then we can go back to... And I don't know exactly how this splits, but... we put that in. And then we see if we got it right. Cool.
Why are those red? Just
Oh, Sibelius will have a default range for each part, and
okay.
it'll warn you when you're going theoretically outside of this range. So the treble solo is probably marked as more of a soprano solo thing. So yeah, it doesn't start getting orange or red until B, which is super high. So
There you go.
yeah. Speaking of like safe ranges, if you want to like stay in like a super safe zone, I personally like, so bass super safe range is like from low G to about middle C. Tenor safe range is somewhere around like a low C up to, I'd say E is safe. They definitely can and do higher than that regularly. Altos are kind of interesting because you can put them basically anywhere from like, I'd say low E is pretty safe up to about high C. But most of their parts tend to live within like middle C to middle G box, so they're interesting. And then sopranos, I try not to go below E too often, and then going kind of G is a good safe top. So if you can have parts fit in those, that's nice. That doesn't always happen. Okay, so we're gonna be a little lazy and keep the verse exactly the same. Usually I'd try and have the verse a little different, but we're just gonna keep this here.
There you go.
All right. So we're gonna start transcribing this. I'll go through like a few things. So we need to figure that one out. Again, we'll probably need to like start subdividing. So, and 2 and 1, can you hear me calling? And that'll, like, you know, like if you're just doing one beats, it's a little harder to hear. But if you've got, can you hear me calling? It's pretty clear where things line up. So, I'm gonna start there. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Can you hear me? So we've got a 8th rest. This one's gonna be, whoops. And then the next ones are all 8th notes. Okay. And this is not supposed to go in this measure. This is supposed to go in this measure. Cool.
that A and the G sharp are a little.
Yep, that's gonna happen. One other thing to note, when you're working with this, you're gonna have a single timbre thing going on, meaning like everything's gonna be playing on a piano. So you kind of have to work with the fact that what you're hearing, you can't take it as absolute truth, like it makes a nice reference, but it's not going to be how it translates. The reason I'm not worried about these is that they're on different syllables. If they were on the same syllable, like both were on an oo, then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's going to stick out to the audience a little more as like something that clashes. But we're so used to, in songs like this, we have different sounds doing different things that if they have kind of different syllables, it separates them. Okay, so there's that. And out your name, that's just 8th notes. Next one's a fun phrase, I think. You know that I'm falling. You know that I'm falling, and I don't know what to say. Oh, cool. So this is a rhythm that comes up a lot. So, you know that I'm. So it's good that this came up, actually. So we've got an eighth rest again, and then this rhythm is where you've got a 16th. Oops, I'm on the complete wrong note. You've got a 16th, an eighth, but we're going across a beat, so we're gonna have to do this. And then another 16th. So this 16th, 8th, 16th shows up a lot. Or sometimes it keeps tying and doing off beats there. You can see that in like drumming song. There's just a bunch of tied 16th notes together. So like offbeat 8th notes. So this shows up a lot. You know, I think that's all 8s. And I don't know what to say. So I'm going to simplify it a little bit. It sounds like they're doing something a little fancier, but it's probably just a stylistic thing. So I'm just going to go here. Ooh, I'm missing a note. You know that, oh, we're missing. This needs to be there. Okay. You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. So that's going to be 16th notes at the beginning. Don't know what to say, and then 8th notes. Yeah, you could do a like C sharp down to B, like say, or you could just go down to say and just let the soloist figure it. Either one's fine. For solo notation, I try and get it right, but it doesn't matter that much. Backing parts matter a lot more because there's going to be a bunch of people referencing it, all trying to do the same thing. Solos, like, people are going to listen to it and stylize it how they want, so. I think. Ooh, I'm off. Falling in the tunnel. Missing a note.
Yeah, you're missing another 8.
Don't know what to
right?
say. Yeah. It's supposed to be an 8. Okay. And we'll check that one. Cool. Speak a little louder. I speak a little louder. So we got a pickup there going into. So first beat's empty, second beat's empty, but it's got a pickup. So this is going to be this one. I speak a little louder. That's going to be all 16th notes. And then 8th notes. This is just something you get better at. Like, I have the subdividing trick, and that's about it. Like, slowing things down is good. If you can get it so you can speak it yourself, you can manually slow it down. So I'm doing that a lot, where I speak a little louder, and then I can kind of analyze it better. Okay, what's that one?
What is this?
I'll even shout. It's all even shout. Even shout. I'll even shout. I'll even shout. Okay, so I think that's our first one's now gotta pick up. And then I think they're all 8. So let's try that. Cool. So we're almost done with the verse, then we get to something more interesting too. Okay, that sounds like it's pretty similar to our last phrase.
Yeah.
So we're gonna copy that. You know, I'm proud and I can't get the words out. So this is just gonna tie, because you've got, You know that I'm proud and I can't get the words out. So the words is going to be longer. So that's just going to tie there. We're going to go here. And I think that should be it. Let's just check. You know that I'm proud and I can't get the words out. Cool. Alright, so now we get to chorus, which is a little more interesting. I'm going to turn this up. Okay, so... Okay, so there's a few parts we need to happen. Obviously, bass line needs to happen, sort of given. We need these like lower chords. Harmony, and then there's also this guitar part happening, which is probably going to be the poor tenors. We'll have to jump back and forth between those ah parts. And that's just tenors because that's in their range there. So that'll be fun for them. All right, starting with bass line, it's basically the same thing, but I'm gonna try and make it at least a little more interesting. Or have something slightly different. So it sounds like we can mimic the top rhythms. Have like a do 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 do. So that's gonna be dotted eighths. Is that rhythm like do 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 do, and then eighth notes. So we're gonna go here. Woo! What is that?
What the heck? It's tiny note.
I did not mean to do that. Let's try that again.
It's them piano intro.
Oh.
Abort. I accidentally have the grace note thing clicked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I somehow got into this part of the keypad. So, that's what I'm doing here. And most things have something like this where there's hotkeys set up. So these are all numbers for Sibelius. Like this is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is dot. This is 0, I believe. So. Oh, that's literally typing the note name on the keyboard. That's pretty universal too. So, this is just typing B. And then. So we're gonna have like these are gonna be longer, do do do, and then I'm gonna put T's on here to kind of indicate they're shorter, do, do, and then this can be a doom. So do 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 doom, and then we're gonna go do 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 do. I'm not sure if this one goes up or stays down, so we'll have to listen to that and see. And then this next chord one is a little different. I think it starts on the C sharp. With you and I think it does that. So let's just check our chords. Cool, we're good. And I think this one does go up. So I'm gonna make that do that. And then this all goes again. Now we ran out of space.
New page.
Alright. That'll be fun for bass. Yeah. 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 So generally I'll try and make sure like a transition measure like this will have something different, and maybe turnarounds, like for example when we go back here, probably I'd make this measure a little different for basses, or I'll be listening for like, are there any like fills the bass line is doing, since we're just sort of cranking something at this point, like this is how this is. Yeah, but usually I look for like spots to sneak in any variation. because it's easy to remember, like, oh, the very last one's different sort of deal. Okay, so let's get working on this. We can actually steal this rhythm because that's the ah rhythm. And then this is going to be tenors. I'll probably just make this. I'll probably just do ha's and then make those connected. Yeah, that should work. And then we need to figure out this little da 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 da. So that's gonna be da 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 da. Okay, I think that's right. So let's see. Cool. So tenors will have fun with that. My tenors stay down there, actually. Let me copy these. Yeah. Oh, if you guys want to take off at any time, feel free to. And then this one go up too. Okay, and that should be tenor part. So they're doing these ah chords and taking care of that. We might need to change it in some spot. We'll see. Okay, then we can steal this for top parts. I'm probably going to have sopranos join the soloist on this top O. Because it sounds like there's an ensemble singing. So, go. So then we need to put the rest of the chord in the altos. So we're going to go here and add a third on top. And that'll be the alto part. Oh, that should be here. And then I'm going off these chords again here. So this needs to be a B chord. And this is like A chord sort of thing. So. And then here, so we're going like, do, 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 I want to be with you everywhere. So we need to switch to harmony here. Let's see, I wanna be with you, I wanna. So that has to go like right after this second one, like. So that's gonna go here.
So what are you putting? What are you making sopranos do?
Sopranos are probably just gonna join on this top O here, that the soloist has. Oh, or what's that song there? So you can't have just the soloist do it. It might be a little thinner than that texture. So.
No, this is neither of those things. It's Discord.
What?
It works pretty similar.
What's different about it? What's different about it?
You can join a chat room, talk to people, like with mics, like
Wait,
these guys.
is this what Anna was telling you about the other day?
She's telling you about
You were-
Discord? I don't know.
That sounds unlikely.
I
You were
wasn't
there.
telling you about
You were
Discord.
there. And you were like, oh, I have that too.
No, that's House Party. That's
House
different.
Party.
That's an app. There are too many. Too many these tracks.
I wanna be with you everywhere. Okay, those are all eighth
All your
notes.
friends use discard.
Or Skype. One or the other.
Where are you from?
You,
I've never heard of any of these things.
Skype? You
No,
never
I know,
heard of
I've heard of
Skype?
Skype,
Okay.
but no one uses Skype. Do people use Skype?
I
You
know
use Skype.
Yeah.
people use Skype all the time, yeah.
Oh,
Skype. What do you use?
Facebook Messenger?
Ew.
What?
Facebook Messenger is disgusting.
For video chat?
I use
Oh, not
it.
for video chat. Okay, well Skype, but like I don't
See?
video chat with people a lot.
Yeah, or FaceTime if they have
Or FaceTime, yeah, like if
Fair,
one
yes.
person then FaceTime.
okay, so I think this is alto harmony to this part. The I wanna be with you everywhere. No problem. Probably needs to be there. Okay, so let's see how we're doing so far. Cool. And then this alto line is just the lower harmony to that. And then this probably needs to be longer. So we're going to tie you to another note. Okay. So now we start on soprano part slash solo. This basically just gets to hold on a B for forever. And then join this line. Oh, sorry. If you guys have any like questions as to, like why I'm doing what, like feel free. And I think this is just like an O.
Whoa.
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 Oh, whoa.
I'm so excited to see Jamie's face when we're like, oh, what?
Oh, my.
Okay. There's something funny happening there. Oh, these need to go down. Down. I wanna be with you everywhere. Okay. So.
It's whatever, man. Just make them all come up to James. Be like, you know, we decided we're just gonna be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have fun walking Yoon.
Yoon will just sit down and cry.
You will just take an
Yeah. Which Conrad would be a part of.
Uber. Yeah.
If Yoon remembers
Yoon
to
and
ask
Conrad
Conrad.
together.
Okay. These harmonies sound like they're on something slightly different, but I don't want to figure that out right now exactly. So then this repeats. So we're gonna copy through here. And then the only thing we have left basically is like to do this weird thing at the end. Whatever that vocal. Yeah.
That's when our dubstep comes.
Oh,
Be
beautiful.
with you everywhere. I wanna be with you everywhere. Okay, so that sounds
Did you
like.
build your own PC?
Huh? That's not my desk.
Oh.
Oh.
What desk is that?
Yeah,
That's our
both
other
our
roommates.
roommates built their own.
Look at that keyboard though.
Neat. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm bothered.
It's one of those like.
Looks like it came out of Windows 1995 starter kit.
I know a lot of people who like those style of keyboards because of the way it feels.
Yeah.
No, I know. People
It's
like
like a
keyboard
super
ones.
like I'm really tech and yeah.
Yeah, all mechanical keyboards make very absurdly
I
loud
hate
clacking
that
noises.
clacking noise.
Yeah.
My brother has one.
It's just so slow.
Okay, so this last thing I think has the same rhythm going here. Just going at the end. So, and then it's all on like the same note. So I think we're gonna have everything on a B. And that will be fun. Altos will get this chord. I think is an E, like. It sounds like it goes from like a B to a B sus. So we're gonna go.
Kind of sucks right now.
Should be more sus.
And then up here it goes back. Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing in the soprano part, just filling out the rest of this chord. Okay, and we'll see how we're doing. Cool. Oh, this should just be eighths, I think, because they're not pausing on everywhere. I think I want to be with you everywhere. Yeah, those are just eighths. So you want to get rid of the. You guys should all just be like quarter notes. And that's ugly, but oh well. I guess.
Really nice study places down on Shattuck.
Blue Door Coffee.
Blue Door's not in Shattuck.
Or sorry, Blue Bottle.
Where is that?
It's on University, I think.
Will it have space, do you think?
I don't know. I've never actually been inside.
Oh.
Okay, and that'll do that. Let's see how we did overall. Yeah. And overall, you generally pick more open sounds for like choruses, so ahs and ohs, versus like ums and oohs for verses. So you can get like more than just dynamics if you're switching sounds. And then the other thing you can kind of do is range. This song doesn't do it much, but like the soprano part does go higher for the chorus, and so kind of expanding range in either direction is another way you can go. That contrasts sections. Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, I hope that wasn't too boring and somewhat helpful,
No.
but
Oh, you're all good.
It's nice to watch it come together.
do you guys have any questions or anything?
How did you hear the tenor part?
Still
I-
stuck on that.
I learn a lot of guitar parts for songs, so I guess I'm just used to listening to them.
That's literally my only idea of the song.
Well, like, you can hear it now, can't you?
Kinda.
I don't know if what I put in is exactly what it is, to be honest. Like, I agree that I mostly hear that one note, and I'm sort of
Yeah,
inferring the rest from there,
Yeah, but I feel like it's right. It fits. At
Yeah.
some point in your range of music, it's like, you know what, it works. So
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
we're
mean,
gonna
that's
put it in the song,
definitely-
and they're gonna sing it.
That's definitely a thing in arranging. Like, if you don't really know what it is, no one else really knows what it is, and you can just kind of pick something. So.
You get an email from the original artist. Just like, please
the
fix your
timeline is
arrangement.
all
It's
wrong.
gross.
We can just blame it on the tenors at that point.
Yeah, if I get an email from Fleetwood Mac, I'd be pretty stoked one way or the other.
Yeah, honestly, regardless of whether or not it's complaining about an arrangement, you'd be like, I got an email. There you go. Good life.